It's an incident that has put the global spotlight on our country for all the wrong reasons. Canada's parliament rising in unison to cheer and clap for a member of the Waffen SS. An embarrassing moment for our nation and a painful one for Jewish communities from coast to coast. After apologizing yesterday, the man responsible for inviting Yaroslav Hunka was still facing mounting criticism and calls for him to resign. So today, he did.
It's with a heavy heart that I rise to inform members of my resignation as Speaker of the House of Commons.
A resignation effective end of day tomorrow.
I reiterate my profound regret for my error in recognizing an individual in the House during the joint address to Parliament of President Zelensky.
Anthony Rota acknowledging his recognition of 98-year-old Yaroslav Hunka, a Ukrainian member of a volunteer Nazi Waffen SS unit accused of war crimes, caused harm.
That public recognition has caused pain to individuals and communities, including the Jewish community in Canada and around the world, in addition to survivors of Nazi atrocities in Poland.
Deputy Speaker Chris D'Entremont taking over duties today while preparations are underway to elect a new speaker. But the resignation isn't enough for Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre.
But the Prime Minister's protocol and intelligence units had the right to ask for the list of all those who would be present and recognized.
He wants Justin Trudeau to apologize.
The Prime Minister did not carry out that responsibility, and now our nation's reputation is in tatters. Will he stand up and apologize to Canadians, to the Jewish community, to the Ukrainian people, and to the entire world for this mess that he helped create?
NDP House Leader Peter Julian and Bloc Québécois Leader Yves-François Blanchet also calling on Trudeau to apologize on behalf of all parliamentarians and Canada. Trudeau was absent from question period today, so Government House Leader Karina Gould responded after calling on Rota to resign this morning.
We know, and the leader opposite knows, that this was the decision solely of the Speaker of the House of Commons. He chose to invite this individual. He chose to recognize him without informing the government or the Ukrainian delegation.
The question of an apology from the PM leading to an enthusiastic exchange.
And now he says he's not responsible to vet the very people that come into contact with a visiting head of state. Is it that he's not responsible or that he's irresponsible?
I would posit that the Leader of the Opposition is being very irresponsible right now in his accusations.
Has there ever been a greater diplomatic embarrassment in the history of our country? I mean, literally. He can't even show up for work. Where is he, and why is he hiding under a rock today?
We have barely heard a word of support for Ukraine from the Leader of the Opposition until he sees political wedge issue.
In a statement, B'nai B'rith's CEO says a true apology requires more than mere words. It requires the heartfelt desire to do better, calling on the feds to make public all of Canada's Holocaust-related records. The Friends of Simon Wiesenthal Centre for Holocaust Studies released a statement welcoming the resignation, which they initially called for. Meantime, Poland's education minister says he's taking steps to determine if Hunka committed war crimes in Poland, and if so, he wants him extradited. For more on this, let's bring in Gustavo Rymberg, the CEO of the Hamilton Jewish Federation. Gustavo, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Matt. Thank you.
What's your reaction to Rota's resignation?
It didn't surprise me. I think that is basically the right thing to do. But what I see here, it's not only his problem, okay? It's not only an issue that, it's only about him. It's a big, big, big issue here. It's a context, it's a problem, when you see something like this happening, this embarrassment, unnecessary embarrassment, he feels responsible for that, and I think that is the right thing to do. But at the same time, something that I was shocked when I was watching the video, of everyone standing. Doesn't matter if you are conservative, liberal, NDP, Green Party, whoever was in the room. The lack of, I don't know if this is the right terminology, and I apologize in advance, but the lack of education When someone is reading something about World War II, and they cannot recognize that during World War II, the Russians were allies against the Nazis, for me, that's a problem, okay? And everyone stand for that, and everyone clapped like crazy, and everyone was very enthusiastic about that, without knowing, without understanding what they are doing. For me, that's a big, big problem about what's going on.
Do you think the apology and resignation are enough, or do you think the Trudeau government needs to apologize as well?
It's not only Trudeau government. Like I said before, everyone stand it. Everyone. I think that, listen, there's some logistics here that I think that someone has to check what's going on. You know, someone has to read the agenda before going to the meeting. So yeah, I think that everyone should apologize. Not only the not only the Liberal government. Everyone who was there should apologize for doing what they were doing.
How painful is this incident for the Jewish community?
It's really hard, really difficult, because we talk a lot. There's a lot talking about anti-Semitism today. There is a lot of things. Everyone is supporting anti-Semitism, but at the same time, again, you see the lack of understanding, the lack of education, or you bring like the Ukrainian president, who's all happened to be Jewish, and everything was, I think, sometimes when you have these moments that everything can be wrong, okay, that was one of the moments, like everything was bad, and also happening in the very important week for the Jewish community is the week of the high holidays between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We are all in a very different, I would say, like stage of mind. And something like this happened. I mean, it's I don't have the right word, it's problematic, it's sad, it's troubling. It's like, we should questioning ourselves, are we on the right track? Is the government doing the best that they can to confront anti-Semitism or any other kind of hate or discrimination? It's a big concern. The fact that we don't know our history or what happened only 80 years ago.
That's Gustavo Rymberg, the CEO of the Hamilton Jewish Federation. Gustavo, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.